All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Captain Stevenson. Welcome to Commander's Call for 17 April. Go ahead and hand it over to Pollock for some opening comments.
Good morning, Double Deuce. I know it's been a tough week, and I know the flights are still talking through things and getting feedback. So we're going to really talk about this next Friday. But I've heard a lot of good things about the discussions you guys are having, some heart-to-heart discussions and really talking through it. So that's good. I encourage you guys to keep talking, right? Talk to your family, talk to your loved ones, talk to your buds in the squadron, outside the squadron. Keep talking about it. With all the uncertainty and stress during this COVID-19 time, I just want to make sure we talk about healthy outlets too as well. And that's one reason we got MFLAC here, is they're a great resource. And I want to introduce Mr. Steve Morrow to talk about what MFLAC does and how they're doing it in COVID-19. So I'll hand it off to him now.
Hey, good morning. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the floor. So yeah, everyone, my name is Stephen Morrow. I'm the MFLAC assigned to you folks. And with COVID-19 and the uncertainty, we've been very grateful for the Office of Secretary of Defense. They've been able to change our orders and give us a little more leeway. So now everything is virtual. We're providing sessions via Zoom for individual and or couple counseling. I've been meeting with quite a few folks after the word got out that Zoom was approved. A couple of things different with Zoom than in person. If typically we'd meet at the AFRC and there is a mandated report or a duty to warn, I could obviously walk you to the necessary resource. The only difference with Zoom is that I will need to know your location in case there is a duty to warn or a mandated report. And so that's the only real change with Zoom as opposed to meeting in person. I see my info's up on the screen. That's my direct cell number, the 424. You can call or text that, and then that's my direct email as well. Usually I operate on the hours of around 7 to 3, 8 to 4, something like that. One of the things that I was getting a little bit concerned with a week or two ago is that different flight commanders were contacting me for crisis. And so you folks know that the MFLAC service is not crisis counseling. We are kind of a solution-focused brief intervention to help you get through a tough time. But we do have resources that we can refer if there's more long-term need. That doesn't mean I don't want to see you if you believe that you have a long-term need. That means that I want to see you, work with you for the time that I can, and then provide you a referral source if need be. So that's kind of my spiel for this morning. Does anyone have any questions for me about anything really at all?
Hey, Steve, I have a question.
What's up?
What are the most common things that people see you for? Can you just give us some examples?
Yeah, definitely. Probably the two most common things right now are relationship distress, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, whether it's fiance, whether it's spouse, whether it's just intimate partner. The number of couples that I am seeing have definitely gone up. And the other thing is anxiety. Anxiety has been kind of deemed like a weird or scary word or taboo word. Really all that is just uncertainty. And obviously with COVID-19 and how it's changed the landscape, there's a lot of uncertainty. So it's expected, it's normal. And so those are the two main things that have definitely popped up a lot since COVID.
And then in general, what are your recommendations to deal with some of that uncertainty? High performing team, we're out on the road, we're traveling around the globe. What are some tips you might give a big group like this to say, hey, have you considered doing something like this?
Yeah, many times, again, speaking generally, many times uncertainty creates the sense of need of some level of control. And many times our gut instinct is to attempt or believe that we need to control things outside of our control. A quick list, excuse me, is something like this. It's actions, efforts, attitudes, manners, and words. And those are the 5 big main things that you control. Regardless of the context, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of where you're at, who you're with, what's going on around you, you control those 5 things 100% of the time. And on the flip side, kind of the catch-22, the double-edged sword, is that those are the only things that you control. And many times uncertainty will push us and manipulate us to believe that we can control things outside of that realm. And that can create uncertainty, that can create anxiety, that can create, in some cases, overwhelming thoughts. And so when we can adjust our locus of control, our center of focus back to what we actually control, it makes things a little easier to deal with, especially with the uncertainty.
That was really great. Can you just repeat those? And then I got nothing else.
Yeah, definitely. So it's actions, efforts, attitudes, manners, and words.
Awesome. I really appreciate the time. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Hey, Stephen, Lindsay Fry here. Hey, I was just, oh, excuse me. So we just kind of call your cell phone and then set up a good time with you. Is there like a pre-conversation before the conversation? Like if I really wanted to talk to you, like how does that go down?
There is no, and thank you for the question, there is no exact science. More times than not, the most common things that happen is that someone will text my MFLAC phone and say, hey, this is so-and-so, can I set up an appointment? And I'll text them as soon as I can and be like, yeah, of course, can we set up a time to call and chat briefly? It's typically a 2 to 3, maybe 4-minute conversation. Find a good time and a good date, and then we go from there.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ryan Patchen has a question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Hey, sir, you mentioned obviously not for crisis intervention stuff. So what would be the best for somebody that is kind of going through, hey, it's the worst day of their life? What would be the best avenue for them to go to direct line of sight if they are going through a legitimate crisis?
Legitimate crisis, that's a great question. And I wish that I had that exact number on me right offhand, and I don't, and I apologize. The best thing to do is obviously contact an emergency room. If David Grant's available, I'm unsure their medical operations right now. I do have a resource sheet that I can put on or that I can email. I can email Lindsay Fry a resource sheet that I have with some local, for Solano County, local resource list for emergencies. The Vaca Valley Hospital System, they have a 24-hour mental health unit for emergency crises. And I have that contact info that I will email to Lindsay Fry.
Do we still have, I mean, obviously we still have chaplains. I know they're kind of got min-man too, but I think we still have a chaplain. Do we still have a chaplain on call, like through the command post and all that?
To my knowledge, yes, chaplains are working via Zoom. I do not know the full context of their scope of what they're able to provide and what they cannot provide.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Drew, for putting that in the chat.
Well, thanks again, Steve. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lindsay, if you can hear me, I'm emailing that resource sheet to you right now. All right, take care, y'all.
Okay, thanks again, Mr. Morrow, for stopping by and that briefing. Next, we're going to talk about some upcoming calendar events. Not much on the docket, really. Change of command will be May 29th. We're still working the details on that. It will likely be live streamed from the 22nd auditorium. However, we're fighting for a better venue. So stand by for more on that. and then Memorial Day on May 30th. That's about it. Next up, we're going to have Aaron Para brief us on the Air Force Assistance Fund. I apologize. It says Captain Vaughn up there. Didn't quite have time to change the slide on that.
It's all good, sir. Good morning, Double Deuce family. Today I'm going to be briefing you guys on the AFA. It's already been posted on Slack a few times. We just kind of want to hit it home just so we keep accountability that we're able to keep track of everyone that's responded, or at least that wants to donate to the good cause. Since we're not able to see each other in person, the best way to give is going to be e-giving. Instructions are located on Slack through the whole entire AFA message channels that have been going around. But you're more than welcome to text or message Lieutenant Park, Airman Smith, Sergeant Bennett, or Airman Willoughby. I'll say they're definitely good causes in order to give, especially in this kind of time and age. But yeah, we have a deadline of 08 May, and if you guys are able to thumbs up or like or message us, all that kind of good stuff, definitely would appreciate it, so we're able to kind of like keep this all on track. Other than that, all the information is on Slack, and if you have any questions, let us know.
Thanks, Airman Parr. Does anyone have any questions on that? Real quick, we'll pause for about 5 to 10 seconds here. All right, looks like no questions. Next up, we're going to hear from our various crew positions. I've got a little briefing for you.
Hello, that's me, Master Sergeant Zelonis. Good afternoon, Double Deuce. So whether you guys are aware of this conversation or not, a lot has been happening to discuss COVID. I think you're pretty much aware of it now, if you weren't before. But we've had the opportunity this morning to kind of address some thoughts that the team has come up with on how to turn negative into positive, hence the slide entitled Opportunities. First, I'm going to talk about the connection piece of it. Then we will transition to the pilots. We'll talk about personal growth. And finally, we will end with the flight engineers and professional growth. That being said, today I'm going to talk about connections. First, I'm going to talk about challenges, maybe with multiple roles that some of us are feeling with being not only workers or airmen, but also parents, being a spouse or roommate, etc. Some challenges with physical distance, and finally end with opportunities for connecting with those that you live with. All right, so multiple roles. I know that a lot of issues that have come up have been with, a lot of people have said they've had multiple issues with balancing their time needs, myself included. I know it's very hard to fill all these roles at once, right? So normally we have our whole day segregated or separated to where we go to work and we're a worker, and we have very little interruption or minimal interruption with your family. I'm trying to move closer for those if you can hear me. A way to manage that would be for scheduling, right? We're in a unique time. We've never been at home as much as this. Just a suggestion for that is create a schedule, stick to it, create that new normal for yourself, and set alarms if you have to. From a simple way to do it, but something that maybe not everybody thinks about. The second challenge with connection, physical distance, I feel like I'm going to be preaching to the choir here. You guys are all experts in internet stuff. Zoom, karaoke, video games, house party, FaceTime, Twitter, etc., etc. Some of the stuff that maybe you haven't all thought about, some more suggestions are virtual dinner parties, of course, text, phone calls, and actually writing letters. A lot of people are going back old school. All right, so those are some of the challenges, and talk about opportunities for connecting with those that you are living with. It's more time to interact, certainly build connections, build things that you wish you could before but haven't had time to do. So the things to do: play, learn, mentor your family or roommates, help your kids with homework, read your children a story, throw a ball, ride a bike, share your hobbies, clean their house together, play board games, card games, have a movie night, dance, cook, and meet together, and of course, don't forget to get into exercise. With that, hopefully you guys can hear us have it. I will transition. We will now transition to personal growth.
Thanks, Sergeant Zalonis. Everybody hear me okay? I'm dating myself here, but I enlisted in 19 something or other. And not since September 11th have I seen such a disruption of daily life and operations. In all that time, through sequestration, snowstorms, hurricanes, and a variety of other disruptors, the common theme is that no matter how people perceive their lives, both at work and home, they all hunger for a return to normal. We're creatures of habit, and especially in the military, of structure. We'll eventually return to a sense of normalcy. In the meantime, we can decide to live in consternation and discomfort, or we can bend the situation to our advantage. Another thing I've observed over the years is that there's never enough time. When we're flush, we lament the ops tempo. When we're thin, we complain about the lack of flying. We're air crew, right? We're funny that way. When it comes to those things we wish we had more time for, the time is now. We talk about innovation, resilience, perseverance, and if those words are not hollow, then the time is now. This period of time is an unprecedented opportunity for personal growth. Our gyms may be closed, but the roads are open for a jog. The floor is open for push-ups and sit-ups. There are dusty books on the shelf. There's a class you've been meaning to finish. There's a recipe you've been wanting to try out. There's a garage that needs to be rearranged. There's a chapter in the regs you've been wanting to master. There's time to reflect. Our parks may be closed, but our boys are there to play catch in the backyard. Our restaurants may be takeout only, but our girls are there for tea parties. Date night can be as close as the kitchen. The excuse that if I only had some time is no longer valid. As a matter of mental health, we owe it to ourselves, and as a matter of principle, we owe it to those who are struggling during this crisis. While we remain salaried, we need to grow. The double deuce moves things, people and cargo. That's what we do. But we also move ourselves forward. A long journey begins with a single step, so take that step and see where it takes you. I can't prescribe how exactly to use your time, but realize one of the oldest adages across all cultures and generations is that time is a precious resource. If you have not gleaned some ideas or inspirations from this short talk, then call. Call your supervisor, call your RM, talk to your friends. Let's come up with a personalized syllabus, if you will, to keep you healthy, engaged, get a little smarter, and who knows, maybe we'll share some good shows to binge watch. Seriously though, take the time to play some games, relax, stay connected to your friends. Also take the time to stay connected with your family and also with yourself and your personal growth. I think a happy life can be like Bravo Ops, as I call them. Eat when you're hungry, sleep when you're tired, but also do something productive with your time. Be content at the end of the day that you have accomplished something. There's so much to do, and with a little focus and personal discipline, we can come out so much stronger and recharged on the back end, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and professionally. Speaking of which, I'm going to pass it over to the engineers to discuss professional development.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me all right? Just when I think about my COVID-19 journey, I think about a video that Sergeant Reinbold posted on the Enlisted Professional Development. If you haven't seen it yet, I recommend you go check it out. But anyways, the premise is Jocko Wilkins. He talks about what it's like in this environment where it's sort of like Groundhog Day. And for those that haven't seen the movie, it's basically, he repeats the same day over and over again. And when he first starts out, he's doing everything he can because there's no consequences, right? So he's doing all the worst things. He's eating the worst, he's smoking, he's robbing banks, he's doing everything wrong. Then after a bit of time, he realizes like, hey, what am I doing? I'm wasting all this time. So he starts developing personally, learns how to play the piano. He helps some homeless people, and so he starts doing all the things right. And so I think of that a little bit with relation to my journey. I started out eating really unhealthy, drinking every night, And then I was like, what am I doing? I'm wasting all this time. So started working out more, eating healthy. So trying to get back on the right path, and it just reminded me of that movie. If you haven't seen it, I recommend go check it out. But as we transition through this time and we talk about the connecting with families, personal growth, also take advantage of this opportunity to work on your professional growth as well, right? So some of the things that I've seen around the squadron, Sergeant Espinoza, he's working on a phase guide for the flight engineers, just kind of focus their training. So it's going to help out the entire career field. Sergeant Ogg recently updated our TOLD kind of cheat sheet helper's guide. So that's going to help the entire community. Sergeant Gibson's been working on an MQF Quizlet tester to help out for guys when they're taking their closed book. So other opportunities for you if you're, there's that piece in the TO you don't agree with, do that 847. If there's something in the AFI that you don't agree with, submit that change, right? So for the pilots, you can update the in-flight guide, right? Is there things in there that are outdated that need to be updated, right? Organize your email, practice the getting things done seminar, that SharePoint, that share drive that's a little bit disorganized that you need to work on. Just some things that you can work on during this time. If you got that long to-do list that things have been growing on there and you want to start knocking some things out, this is the perfect opportunity for that. So I just highly recommend that you just take advantage of this time and use it to knock out some things that you've always been putting off. That's all I have.
All right, thanks to all the crew position. Appreciate your input. Next, we're going to go ahead and hear from the flight leadership. And before we do that, Lieutenant Webb has a few words for us about the virtual trivia night that is coming up. So Lieutenant Webb, the floor is yours.
Morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes? Okay, sweet. All right, so we're going to be doing virtual trivia via Zoom and Discord. The plan is going to be, it's going to be music trivia through the decades of 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. It's kind of a good spread of popular music that most people know of and could generally identify. The idea is that we'll be hosting the trivia on Zoom, and we'll have teams of 3 to 5 people. And either you can use Discord as a group chat for your team, or if you guys find another avenue or something else that your team prefers, use that. But there will be a team leader that will put in the final answer for each team. And what we're going to do, it's not going to be a timed event. It's just going to be, you have 50, well, it's not the first person who answers, it's just whoever gets the correct answer. So we'll have like 20 seconds for everybody to come up with their answer. Team leads will put it in, and then we'll take the points at the very end of the trivia. It should be, the slides that we have, or the videos that we have, are about it's going to be between about 45 minutes to an hour. But we don't have an exact date yet. I'll get back to everybody on that, and I'll post it in the announcements once we have a date and time. Go ahead and start planning your teams, 3 to 5. Don't feel, if you guys come up with or also come up with team names, it'd be awesome too. All right, that's all I got.
All right, thanks, Lieutenant Webb. We'll open up for any questions for Lieutenant Webb, and then for the rest of flight leadership as well. We'll pause here for about 30 seconds for anyone to jump in with announcements.
I've got a quick announcement from Stanival. Couple of pieces of good news. Aero is working again. MDM provisioning seems to have taken hold again. So take a look at your Aero app, make sure it's updated to the latest version, and hopefully you can download all the flip. If you're unable to do it, take a look at Slack. Captain Smith just posted a couple of detailed instructions to kind of help you through that. And if that fails, then we'll get you a geo access username and password so you can get your flip downloaded. Second piece is we're going to be rolling out the EFBs to our enlisted air crew, updating everybody's iPads. So be on the lookout for pubs to be contacting your flight leadership to start scheduling appointments to get those things knocked out. A thing you can do to help the process along is track down your Apple ID and password. It's probably your .mil email address. And then also your BlackBerry UEM password, which is probably a couple of your initials and probably a couple of numbers. It might have changed over the months, but those two pieces of information are really going to help. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Major Bateman. Any other flight leadership announcements, flight commanders? Do another 10 seconds. Silence. All right, we'll move on. Next, we got Sergeant Myers, first shirt. Oh, sorry, looks like Readiness has something they want to say. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry. Thanks, Captain Stevenson. This is Captain Vaughn from Readiness. I just want to let everyone know the Shamog order came in. I just asked that if you took a neck gaiter, don't also take a Shamog. Just make sure we can get a face covering to everyone in the squadron who needs one. Also, I know a lot of people are still on the road that have taken those neck gaiters, but if you are back from the road or you took one at a different time, please message Sergeant Heitner in the Slack message that he sent out yesterday, just saying that you have one so we can keep track of all of those. We're working on a sign out process for issuing while we're still in mission essential status and not everybody's in the office, but those Shamogs will be available for people that are going out on missions coming soon. Thank you.
Hey, Readiness, question. How do you tie that Shamog? Is there like a YouTube video or something we should watch to figure out how we all wear these things?
Yes, sir. There's a few ways. I'll look into getting a good YouTube video out to people to show them how. I've been tying it kind of like cops and robbers, just like over my face and around my back, but there's a few good ways.
Yeah, I figure we can have some fun with this.
Okay, awesome. And now we'll move on to Sergeant Myers, first shirt.
All right, good morning, team. It's great to see all your faces, as many as I can see. But I know it hasn't been easy being idle for over a month now. And probably all you hear half the time is tips on how to not get COVID, which really includes staying in your house and washing your hands and covering your face when you do get out. So it's a start, but I mean, how are we going to continue to really live? And I think that was the point that the crew positions was getting after, is that we're still humans, and even all you introverts out there that probably got a sweet headset on and have been playing some video games nonstop, still need some interaction and stimulation. So it's kind of why we do this Zoom instead of just getting on a conference call or not doing it at all. Or, we got to interact and see each other a little bit, because it does help. Hey, it helps me to know you guys are still out there too. It's very tempting to squander this time too. It's tempting to order a stack of pizzas and sit on your couch and see if you can find the end of Netflix. I don't know if there is an end, because I mean, but I don't want to find it. But I'm right there with you though. Some days I want to sleep in and just watch some TV, but you're probably not going to get this time again. So ask yourself, what do I want to be during COVID-19? Who do you want to be? And I think most of us want to be connected again. Now, I could be wrong, but if you're interested in doing something with this time, you know, I mean, it's as simple as picking up that phone that you're probably surfing Facebook on anyway. There's some guys down at Edwards or gals created Quarantine University, and there's a lot of free professional development on there. You can get on and watch some inspirational videos or learn about leadership right from the comfort of your own home. And it doesn't cost you anything. It's just utilizing that time that you have. And the CAAs are still out there. They're doing courses on Zoom. You can sign up on Leadership Pathways like you always did. But now you can sit and watch that presentation from the comfort of your own home and build up a little bit. But if that's not your bag right now, if you just want to learn a new skill, that's the time. I mean, maybe you've been aspiring to cook the perfect steak, or beat your run time with your buddies on Strava. I don't know. Find what your bag is, but this is the time to really get after it. And I encourage you all to do so, because you may not get this time again, and we just got to make lemonade out of the lemons that is this COVID. I care and respect all of you, and I really hope that you use this, because I certainly believe all of us will come out of this better. Thank you.
Thanks, Shirt. Next up, Sergeant Reinbold.
Hey, good morning. So I just want to get a few announcements out to everyone, ops related. The Sims are starting to go back on again, so expect some calls from your schedulers about trying to get you guys in Sims, and the locals and everything starting up. So just expect that. I'll just make a plug here for Slack. Captain Zampini posted the user lose leave update. So if you haven't gotten into the announcements channel on Slack, there's some good information that goes out. So leave user lose has been extended up to 120 days till September 2023. So that's good news for everybody that was worried about leave and if they were going to lose it or not. And then the SecDef has said that there's going to be an extension of the stop movement. So that relates to PCSs, TDYs, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of information out there. We're trying our best to get it to everyone. So we do our best to comb through all the information. Again, keep challenging us to find everyone the information, and we'll keep trying to post it to you guys. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Sergeant Reinbold. Next, we're going to hear from Sergeant Angelis.
What's up, Double Deuce? Obviously, like we've already talked about for the last few weeks here now, we're difficult time. You know, this sucks, right? We're doing all calls on Zoom, and it's difficult. I can see some people's faces like, man, this really sucks. We're sitting here doing this. I'm kind of bored. I'm tired. I've already gotten texts that I have the resting bitch face going on. Yes, because I'm not happy sitting here in front of a computer. I'd much rather be around people. But again, we'll just get through this. One thing is obviously tough times don't last. Tough people do. So like we've already talked about, we're going to get through this. The times suck right now, but we're going to be better for it. And the only other thing I'll touch on is MFLAC. So I appreciate MFLAC coming out and talking to us. A lot of times we talk about if you have issues, seek out help, right? And a lot of people, like we've talked about over the last year or so, is people are concerned about going to mental health, whatever, this and that, this agency, that agency. It's going to affect my career. What will it affect? I can sit here and tell you straight up myself, I have gone to MFLAC over my career, right? It obviously didn't have to do with COVID, but it just has to do with how our career is as being in the military. So if you ever want to come talk to myself about it, I don't think it's affected my career. I think it's a wonderful avenue to go out there and talk to. So if you ever have any questions and you ever want to reach out, don't hesitate to come out and talk to myself as well. Other than that, you guys all enjoy your weekend.
All right, thanks, Senior. Next up, we're going to hear from Major Fernandez, the operations officer.
All right, good morning, Double Deuce. Quick ops update for you. As usual, our crews are crushing it out there on the road. Still moving heavy things around the world safely and efficiently, even with COVID hitting us all. We've got a steady stream of missions coming up in the next week, so don't be surprised if you get mixed into a hard crew sooner rather than later. The one thing I'm going to ask you, though, is if you're not on a hard crew and if you haven't been flying, is to stay mentally and physically prepared to either go out on a mission or go fly on a local or fly our simulator, since both of those are now back up. After being in isolation for this long, it's easy to get complacent, right? But the one thing that you can control is your level of GK. If you're at home, I urge you to just, drink your coffee and open up your EFB for, 30 minutes to an hour every day and study, because that is all under our control. Please seek training out. If there's a topic that you want them to discuss during CT and it hasn't been covered yet. I think our CT program's the best it's ever been in my little time here at the Double Deuce. And I think training will definitely deliver for all of you. Overarching, vision for scheduling. If you haven't been contacted by our scheduler, it's mostly because we're looking at things in a hard scheduling perspective. So there's only so many training opportunities out there right now. So we have to try to maximize those as best we can. So the experts in DOT are doing their best to put the correct bodies on the right missions. I want to thank Readiness. Here's my shout out time. Thank Readiness for getting all the equipment to keep us safe with the Gator, Shimogs, and the eye protection for the Loadmasters. If you have any suggestions for anything else that we can get to keep us safe on the road, please let us know. And don't hesitate to contact Captain Vaughn or Captain Howder back in Readiness. Last, I want to thank the ADO and scheduling and SARM teams for coming in twice a week. I don't know if you guys know that, but they're coming in twice a week to still generate orders. And they're doing a great job with all the challenges that we have on the road right now. I want to thank the training team for ensuring that we're continuing to maximize the opportunities that we have out there. Really appreciate that. Stanabow, if you haven't had the chance to update your EFBs, you'll see a consolidated squadron read file on your EFBs that they've taken all the different COVID resources and put it all into one document. It's kind of a one-stop shop for us, which is amazing. I don't have to open 10 things to go read about all the COVID guidance out there in the en route system. Last thing I want to say is please stay connected. So whether that's to your own family, to the Double Deuce family, your peers, and as well as your leadership, stay connected, because that's what's going to get us through this isolation that we're all experiencing with COVID. If you've got any questions, you can direct message me on Slack or just type it in the chat. Over to you, sir.
Well said. Good morning again, Double Deuce. I want to thank all the speakers today. Some really good insights from everybody. I really appreciate that. And I learned a couple things there, so thank you. Number two is, tough times and uncertainty. We've had a little bit of both. We continue to have some uncertainty. But what I can tell you is you can feel the team coming together, right? That's what teams do in moments like this. Teams lift each other up, we connect with each other, and we carry each other, right? So keep doing that. That's the only closing point I have today is let's be the team that we can be and carry each other through this. The uncertainty, the tough times, whatever it is, I encourage you guys to keep having these heartfelt talks that I know are occurring. If you have more ideas, funnel them up. If you're not getting the information, let us know because we want to get that information out. So that's all I got. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. And we will talk to you soon. Any questions for me? I'll certainly take questions. I think Heather had something about deployments. We'll look into that for you. Any other questions?
So mine's not really a question, sir. Mine's kind of just it's not a big announcement. It's actually pretty small, but if you guys have a sliding door in your house, make sure you're keeping the screen closed because the mosquitoes are starting to hatch. Got 4 huge bug bites on my arm because we usually let our dog out on the porch and mosquitoes are finally coming out. So make sure you're closing your screens.
Thank you. Yes, I forgot about that. The mosquitoes are out, so let's close those screen doors. Stay safe. I think the ticks are out too, in case your people are hiking and running on the trails. What else you guys got? I'm happy to take questions. All right, Double Deuce, have a safe and wonderful weekend.
Looks like mostly everybody's gone, so I can shut her down or leave her open if you want. It's up to you.
Yeah, I was just hanging out in case there were any stragglers that wanted to ask questions, you know.
Keep it open for another 2 minutes or so.
I'm looking forward to trivia night. I think I'm gonna have a team called Graybeards. I don't know. It's the best I can
Did I
come up
miss
with.
the date on that? Do we have a firm date set yet?
She doesn't have a date. I asked her to come to Monday's end of day to talk about it. But we did totally put her on the spot for that. So, oh, you're
Good
still in
job,
here.
Kim.
Good. Yeah,
You're
Webb,
still
nice
here.
job. Thanks.
Well, I mean, if we don't have a date, I would just default to the 22nd, right? I mean, every day is Blur's Day, so I mean, it's up to you guys, but
Yeah, I guess my concern was if it was something we wanted to do on a Friday night or like
sure, yeah. We
or
could
like
call it Muley Day on a
I mean,
Friday.
are we not all feeling like every day is the same day? I forget which day of the week it is all the time.
yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't sure if like doing it during the week would be fine or if people would prefer like Friday nights or something like that. But I guess for us, we're all, like you said, kind of working from home, so it doesn't necessarily always
I've
feel
more
like
than once woken up on a weekend and logged into my computer and then realized it was Saturday and then unlogged in.
Keep working, Sparky. That's what I would have told you.
I just 7 days a week.
yeah.
Nonstop.
Yeah, I'm fine with the 22nd then.
Well, or let's do the 24th and just say, hey, Muley Day, we're going to celebrate on the 24th and do trivia night. You know what I mean? To keep the Muley Day rhythm going.
Oh, we should definitely call it a first Friday and host it on a non-Friday. People love when we do that.
I know.
First Friday on the last Friday that's not a Friday.
Yeah, sorry
Which
about
Friday is that? That's part of the trivia.
that. All
Good
right.
work,
So
guys.
then,
Good work with the Zoom, and you guys are awesome.
Hey, just a quick poll of who's on this line, thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm answering a TMT from the group. Have we gotten any masks or gloves or anything like that issued to us that I'm not aware of? Because I'm about to tell them that we have not gotten any of that sort of stuff. They're checking the whole wing, so it's like a huge spreadsheet that every squadron's filling out. But to my knowledge, we've not received anything like that from anybody.
No. I mean, I know the MSG put in a mass order that we're supposed to get. I just don't know when those are coming. This stuff, Shmogs are just our own initiative, right? Like,
Yeah, this is asking about like real PPE, like respirators, masks, gloves, face shields, goggles. I think all that stuff we procured on our own. So,
right.
Okay, cool.
Now, the only other thing I know is the DO, maybe Fez knows, they got like gloves for airplanes a while ago. So maybe one check with the DO to make sure that the stuff we got for airplanes. But other than that, no.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I would check with readiness too, just to make sure supply didn't get anything, but they probably didn't.
Brolagio, how are you guys doing? You guys are like a gauge of morale for the squadron, the Brolagio. How are things?
We're good so far. We haven't killed each other yet, so that's good.
Yeah.
Almost.
No toilet paper crisis in the Brolagio?
Oh, it's always a crisis in the Brolagio.
Sure, we got 5 grown-ass men over here. There's always a crisis here. Alex has a bathroom, though. I'll use his bathroom if I need to. Yeah, he does that a lot.
All righty. I'll just check it on you guys. All righty. Well, I'm going to sign off and do the work the execs keep telling me I need to do. I guess I owe you guys an OPR or some shit. Fine.
Just yours.
So just for your essay, since we're not going to talk later, Mark and I are both getting picked off for missions. So Spark, you'll be on the desk next week.
Okay.
Seems like he's doing okay. So I think he can handle it. And then for the change of command stuff, they want us to, the latest is they want us to do it in the auditorium. To scale
they?
based.
No, Joe.
What's that?
Who is
Colonel
that?
Nelson. Colonel Nelson. So I'm gonna reattack with protocol in today.
I wish I'd known that because I talked.
I
to
just
him
found out last night.
Yeah, Joe. Who?
Yeah, I've been talking to protocol, and they've been having daily meetings with him. And so that came down last night. So I'm gonna. They're supposed to meet again today because it's changing almost daily. And I told them our preference would be to still do it in 818 and
Damn straight is to do an 818 and a C5.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Let me reattack my chain of command.
Okay,
Yeah,
they are meeting about it today.
Recent,
Can you send me? Do you have email traffic?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can forward it to you.
Please send me that, and I'm gonna hit send to the group commander and say, "Sir, can you reattack at your end of day?"
Okay.
I don't know. It's part of our heritage.
Right.
We can do this. Okay.